This is FanStream Sports.
Can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who would know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Yes! Here we go!
I guess I want to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about my pants.
Oh, yeah. Welcome into the Colby, Sapp, and IndyCarTim show. That show that you've tripped and splashed into a big mud puddle of life and recognize that you're here about. That's right, we're here. Look, if you need to talk to us, by the way, I am one Colby Sapp. That is one IndyCarTim. You use the text line if you're listening to that recorded podcast, 214-937-0569. That's how you use that on your phone. Look, you know how to dial the digits. Use it while you're listening to that reported podcast, and we'll talk back at you. If you're here with us live right now, then comment down below, like or heart or, do the thing. Do the thing on whatever app you are. Star it. I don't know if that's part of the apps that we're on. Maybe you star it. Should be.
Starfish it?
Yes. Yes, starfish your phone as we talk about things.
Might have done that before.
Yeah, that's I never want to use your phone ever.
Going
ever.
button, Colby?
No. Look, we've got a great show for you guys tonight. And we've got the staples, the good, bad, and ugly, the mystery shotgun, the news and notes. We have all that. Plus, we may get into a little bit of hockey talk as we're excited that I'm excited.
Canada.
That again, Canada doesn't have the cup, which makes me at least feel partially better.
I understand the hatred.
I'm an American.
So?
Tim?
Florida's not?
Yeah, it is. It's America's Wang. It's literally quoted in the News and Notes Gospel as being the penis of America.
Look, we're going to get into this later, but I'll just tell you right now, as a hockey fan, as an NHL fan, I cannot ever condone the way Florida Panthers play hockey. It is not NHL hockey. They should not have won the cup. They cheated, and the league let them get away with it because of who their assistant GM is. That's all I'll say.
Okay, well, is no better team to, quote, cheat against than a team from Canada.
By the way, they would have cremated the Dallas Stars. They probably would have swept the Dallas Stars in the final.
Especially if they were shooting the way they were shooting. Yes. That's
and cheating the way they were cheating.
Well, win's a win.
Stupid Florida Panthers.
You ain't cheating, you ain't
I throw
trying.
up a little in my mouth every time I say their name.
Well, at least they're not Edmonton.
Colby, have you ever seen Smokey and the Bandit?
Yes.
As a kind of a rhetorical question.
Right.
Colby, have you ever sat down and watched Smokey and the Bandit with your kids?
I have not.
I had the pleasure of doing that for Father's Day.
Okay.
With two of my six that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
As the two youngest, Eli and Parker, aged 16 and 14, well, very close to being 17 and 14, wanted to hang out for Father's Day. They wanted to go do stuff. And, of course, me taking myself out for Father's Day usually involves money.
Right.
So I was like, well, let's just do something here at the house. So, we grilled out. And I'm thinking, and they're always asking me about movies and stuff that I watched as a kid, so they said, well, Dad, why don't you show us one of the movies that you liked as a kid? And I'm like, man, where do I go from here? Like, my first thought, because I've seen it about 10 times in the last 2 months, was The Final Countdown.
Okay. Which
is one of my all-time favorite movies. I watched it umpteenth time with my dad on TV back in the 80s.
Right.
The awesome movie. I love it. I wasn't sure they'd be into it though.
Right. So then you went to Condor Man.
So then no, I never got to Condor Man, although that's up there. So I go to turn on my YouTube TV and they always have suggestions. The First suggestion on there was Smokey and the Bandit.
Dude, your TV's listening to you.
And I'm like, boys, have I ever talked about, and then Eli's like, my 16-year-old's like, Smokey and the Bandit? Yeah, I see it. I'm like, are y'all in? And Parker, my 14-year-old, was just like, I've never heard of this. Parker, do you know who Burt Reynolds is? Never heard of him. If it's not a video game,
you ever seen a grown man naked
or a Marvel movie, Parker has never heard of it.
Okay, right.
Eli, on the other hand, has more of the knowledge and stuff like that. And he's like, no, I doubt it, because we just recently watched the Dukes of Hazzard movie.
Right.
With, of course, Burt Reynolds as Boss Hogg. So that's how he knows who Burt Reynolds is. But he also, through the whole movie, said, Dad, he looks just like Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
In the movie, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah, because everybody says if they remake the movie, Pedro Pascal would play the perfect bandit. You know?
As soon as he's not in everything else in the world.
Exactly. So anyway, we sat down and watched start to finish the unedited, because at the time there was no PG-13. I think it was just PG when it came out.
Right, which it wasn't really.
Yeah, but the S word a lot. Maybe an F-bomb once. I don't remember. Whatever, but it wasn't one of those movies you watch with your kids that makes your butt pucker.
Okay, yeah.
There weren't really those scenes, right? Like even the scene where they had sex in the car, they don't show them having sex in the car. You just see the hat on top because he says, only take my hat off for two things.
Right.
So then they show the hat hanging on the antenna. Well, they had, I didn't explain that. I don't know if they knew that, but that's really what they were doing. For y'all that don't know, that's what they were doing. They were doing it. But
poor Pennywise.
Yes, exactly. But dude, like at the end of the movie, both of them were like, "Dad, that was awesome." Like when they jumped the car, when they jumped the Trans Am, which was the highlight of the movie for me as a kid.
Right.
It was just like, they were like, "Dad, show us more movies." And I'm like, "Really?" Like I want to, and then I thought about going on down the whole Burt Reynolds rabbit hole with Hooper, like in all of the movies that and then of course, Cannonball Run.
All right.
Which will be the next one. Next week, we've made a family date. We're all going to watch Cannonball Run 1 and 2 back to back. I don't care about 3. But dude, they were so then Eli, of course, who again watches movies with me, knows that Snowman was the coach from Waterboy.
Right.
He's like, Dad, is that the actor that was the other coach in that wasn't Fonzie and Waterboy? I'm like, yes, he is. I was so proud, man. I was so proud. And then a little bit later, he's like looking at Sally Field and he's like, is that the mom from Forrest Gump? And I'm like, yep, sure is.
Yep.
Like, I'm like, wow.
I didn't think that's where he would be going with it. I thought he would go with an Aunt May because she did play an Aunt May.
Yep. And then he went back to that, which I was like, maybe, like, I don't know that Aunt May very well, but I looked it up. I'm like, yeah, he went both of those places. So Eli pays attention to shit. So I got to watch out sometimes what I'm letting him watch.
Right.
But that was my Father's Day, Colby, and happy Father's Day to you, by the way. I haven't seen you or talked to you since then.
Yes. Same to you. Same to you on the happy Father's Day.
Yes.
You know what? You did give me one of the greater gifts in pre-show as you coined the phrase, the WNBA train.
Yeah.
That's happening. By the way, at the start of this, all the way back to even the Drunk Sports podcast, did you think that during the opening segment of a show that there would be time, in fact, you requesting time once we started talking about it, to have a conversation about the WNBA?
Colby, when this thing was still called the Drunk Sports Podcast, back before you were a part of it,
right?
And you would have asked me in 7 years from now, 6 years from now, would you open your show with WNBA talk? I would have bet you $1 million that the WNBA would, in fact, not be around anymore in 5 years.
Your overconfidence and negativity both reign together to almost cost you $1 million.
I'm not sure it should be either, by the way. They don't make any money. But anyway.
They're on their way. They're on their way, Tim, because of one lady that's getting beat the mess up during the middle of games, and that is Caitlin Clark. By the way, now I feel like a bandwagoner, but if Caitlin Clark is playing, it's on one of my side TVs.
You watching?
I'm watching. If it's on the TV and available to be watched, it's one of those that I'm like, got to pay attention.
Right.
Got to pay attention. So the WNBA is starting to catch fire, and it's one of those things that you're starting to look at how the other players are treating Caitlin Clark, and it's been going on for a little bit, but it seems to be getting worse.
Okay, so I will dispute that statement you just made. I
What's
don't know that the WNBA is catching fire. I think we're all talking about the WNBA because of this specific reason, but not because we're all entertained by it.
No. It is catching fire because when there's gossip and there starts to be talk about it, it's going to draw eyes to
Well,
it.
drawing ears and talk time on shows for sure, like this one.
Right.
And it's warranted. It's warranted, by the way. And look, I will tell you, everyone knows where I stand on women's sports.
Yes.
Especially women's basketball.
Yes.
And I don't get it. I can't stand it. I don't want to go there. I'm not a fan. Okay. I'm not a fan. I won't watch a WNBA game. And we have a team in Dallas that I should support.
Right.
I don't give a crap. I don't know where they play. I can't name one player on their team since they traded JC Sheldon, my chick from Ohio State.
Right. Except
for the Paige Bucher's girl that I guess they just drafted, who was the number one pick, right? I know that just from other people who talk about it, but I don't even know what stadium they play in, or I know they're talking about building an arena. I know nothing about the Dallas Wings.
Okay, I don't either. I don't know anything about the Dallas Wings.
But I do remember when Caitlin Clark was a rookie last year and the Indiana Fever came to Dallas to play the Wings.
Yes.
And they had to move the game to the AAC.
Right. Because they had too many people.
And you know what? Like, if someone called me and said, hey, I've got tickets to go see Caitlin Clark tonight at the AAC, I might have gone.
Yeah, in.
To see Caitlin. Yeah, but I'm not going to go so far as to, like, seek out tickets, pay out of my own pocket for tickets. I wouldn't have done that. But my interest was enough that I'll go see this sideshow, this circus, because that's what it was, her first season, I kind of feel like.
Okay.
And I'm not questioning her talent, her ability.
No, she's a good player.
I think I told you, she's the best player in the league, and she's the most popular player in the league.
Damn
Those
right.
don't always cross paths in any sport of any gender. So, what I don't get, and I don't see how it's fathomable right now with all of this going on with Caitlin Clark, how the rest of the league seemingly hates her guts. And you and I differ. We agree that they hate her guts.
Right.
But we differ on why.
Okay.
But I don't get that. And I get the Angel Reese. I get that rivalry because they're rivals from college and all that. Like, I get, and I hesitate to say the Jordan and the Bird of today because I think that's a little crazy over the top.
I mean, you might have the Jordan or Bird in that situation as far as WNBA is concerned, but you don't have both of them in that situation.
No, I agree. But anyway, I just don't get the hatred that the rest of the players in the WNBA on any of the teams have for Caitlin Clark, because she is literally writing the checks right now for the league.
Yes.
And with her in the league and her being dominant and her playing games, the league is thriving because there are more eyes on the league. There's more talk of the league. It's a growing situation because of her, right? So the only sports correlation that I can think of is if you're a golf fan and you go back to when Tiger Woods first burst onto the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, golf was already popular. It wasn't a dying sport. It wasn't unpopular, right?
No.
It was already doing pretty well. Tiger Woods comes along and puts it so far over the top that everybody's now making 4 times more, 5 times more money than they were on the tour before.
Right.
Can you imagine now? And I know he got a little bit of racism stuff happening, but it wasn't on a wide scale.
No, because they kept that under wraps because, media.
Because he was good. But can you imagine every player turning their back on Tiger Woods at that point, in 2000 when he's winning 27 tournaments a year and crap like that, and then turning their back on the guy that's literally raising their paychecks? Well, that's what Caitlin Clark is doing in the WNBA to all of these girls. They're literally paying their bills. She's paying their bills, She's giving them raises. She's increasing the value of the teams, increasing the value of the league. Yet everyone who is benefiting from it the most wants her out. And I don't understand that. Like I can't wrap my head around that. It does not compute, right? Syntax error. I don't get it. And in my opinion, it's kind of a racial thing. But I said it's because she's white and straight.
Mm-mm.
You disagree?
No, it's because bitches being bitches.
It's just bitches for you.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter your creed, your the color of your skin. All that doesn't matter. What matters is that, and I've seen this, and I'm sorry if I'm lumping every female into a group, but when you guys get into a group, if somebody starts to rise head and shoulders above the rest of the group and starts maybe leaving a few behind, like junior high, when you were going through that and the first chick to get boobs, what happens? She starts losing some of her friends.
Right.
Because a little bit of jealousy sinks in. She starts getting more looks. Now, the realization that, hey, if you just stood next to her and be friends with her, then you would end up with more guys coming after you, because once they realize they had no shot with whoever, then you're next in line. But that's not how it works. It works with the jealousy part kicks in. Jealous of the abilities. And you have a couple of people that end up being jealous, and that's different. But when it starts as a almost like there was always like one chick that like everybody hated that was in a particular group. She'd have a couple of friends, but then like, oh, what are you doing going over there with Gina? That skank. It always happened with, sorry, Gina, I had to throw you out there.
I do love bitches talk with Colby, by the way. This is fun.
And it does, again, this isn't something that's that's based on sexuality or based on anything else. It's just kind of how it deals with, like, dudes, we end up picking our alpha, right? If you're not picking your alpha, then guess what? You're an alpha. But you'll pick somebody to go hang out with because you're kind of over there in a group. If you see the guy over by himself and slowly people start trickling over to him, then that's the new alpha of the group. That's kind of how dudes work.
Yep.
Doesn't work that way with women.
No.
They don't have an alpha. They have the group and then they have the alpha, but it doesn't work as in we're going to follow this bitch. It works, we're going to hate this bitch.
Right.
That's how that works. It's a reverse on it. So that's what's happening in the WNBA. Sorry to get really old school with the talking, because this is not any base human psychology. This is just what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Like you find
this is just culture.
This is just how it happens. Once a lady elevates herself and moves up, she starts losing some of her friends.
Yeah.
They start being friends over here, and she'll get more friends that are like, no. We're going to defend her, right? She'll get more of those, but there'll be more people that are willing to team with the we're against her than for her section.
Sure.
So there you go.
It's insane though, man. Like I said, I don't understand it. And if for some reason the WNBA does not last and its demise comes in the near future, it's because of this. Oh, because it has a chance to thrive right now.
It's because of this is what's going to make it thrive.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. And again, I called it kind of a sideshow. We talked about, is this happening organically? And you were like, wait a minute. What was the question you asked me? Like, are you saying they're doing this on purpose?
Right.
Or someone went to someone and said, look, you should hate Caitlin Clark because it'll make better ratings or something.
Yeah, right.
See, I think it started organically. Like, I get Angel Reese hates her, right? And that was where this started, with Angel Reese. And then the jealousy, because I think most of the girls in the league are team Angel Reese because of the sexual preference and because of the color of the skin and all that. Sisters got to stick together, Colby. Sisters got to stick together. So then it just like, it started organically, but then everyone was talking about Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. And now everyone's talking about it on ESPN and on our show and on everywhere. So everyone's like, oh, wait, this is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
It's like in wrestling, whenever they get a good storyline.
Yeah, get some heat on it.
You got to make we got to promote this storyline. Let's go with it. It works.
They've got heat.
I think it's that.
That's and it's working.
It's whatever it is. It's working. I'm not knocking it.
Now it may not be people. It may be people catching on to what's happening and reporting on it that's causing the heat.
Yeah.
This is organic as far as like, no, I hate that bitch. This is organic. And even though I am a fan of Caitlin Clark's, watching her when stuff happens to her, if I was on the opposite side,
yeah,
and her the face that she makes and the anger that comes about with it, I would be on like, well, hit her again.
Yeah.
No,
I just don't understand why the league is allowing it to happen, because no one's getting punished for what they're doing to her.
No, they're not.
Like, I don't see even fouls being called on the court. They're scratching her eyes out. They're knocking her down after plays. Like, the play's over and somebody just bumps her down. How that used to be a foul in regular basketball.
That did used to be a foul in regular basketball. I will tell you this: the eye poke looked like it might not have been on purpose. The eye poke from the
I didn't see the footage.
And then of course Caitlin gets hit, and so she's like, and she pushes that chick away, and the chick's like, no, you don't push me away, because you did, just the heat of the moment thing. But the second tall, lanky
girl
woman,
careful,
walks in there and just bowls Caitlin over. That's the lady that one of her teammates just should have worked up the 5 knuckles and see if they could make her chin shuffle.
It's so ridiculous, though.
I'd love to see it.
You know what? Are they on, like, do they have a TV contract? Can you watch WNBA games on TV?
I mean, I catch them on ESPN every once in a while.
Are they on? Yeah, I might have to give myself 5 minutes of Caitlin Clark time on the WNBA. It's
okay. You know how I watch TV. I'm playing video games.
Yeah, you don't ever give full attention to anything.
I've got TV here and a TV here, and my game TV's here. And so, in the middle, I'm watching and I'm catching up. And there'll be times to where I'll end up being like, all right, somebody else can drive.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch this over here. This is cool.
Colby, let's slide into a little bit of Dallas Cowboys talk.
Ooh, some Cowboys talk.
I'm sure everybody's tired of hearing Caitlin Clark talk.
Nah.
They may get tired of hearing about Dallas Cowboys talk. So the topic came up that I said, or actually you said, there's a lot of people out there trying to sell us that the Cowboys are better this year right now, right? Or are we saying when the season comes?
Well,
than last year.
When the season comes, it looks like this team is going to be better than they were last year.
And then I told you, okay, I would like to see proof of that. Like, based on what? But you said you fall into that category. Like, you believe that too, right?
I do. Okay. And there's a couple of things about it. I'm kind of having the belief factor of the run/play action pass offense that we seem to think we're going to get with the new offensive scheme. That's going to be something shoddy ball, as it were. That's going to be something that's going to benefit this offense. I do think that next to that, you're going to have more time with this offensive line. Okay. Your younger guys.
Okay.
You got a year under your belt. There's more time there. I never thought that any of the runs designed, except for a few times, by Coach McCarthy, I never thought any of them were good. I thought they were just halfback dives, basic. There's no movement to them whatsoever. There's no trickery. There was barely any counters run, except for a couple of times, to where I was like, well, they don't know where the running back's going, so that's cool. Like, it all set up to where you knew where the running back was going. And if your offensive line is young and having a little bit of trouble making holes, and then telling the defense where your running back's going, it's not going to turn out great.
Right.
You're just not going to be able to make holes if you're telegraphing where the running back's going. So that, in consideration of what you have offensively isn't really changed that much, but I think some of your guys, as far as rookies, are going to step up a little better. And let's be honest, if Dak Prescott is healthy, they're going to be better than they were last year offensively.
I mean, health is everything for everyone on this team.
Correct.
And last year we didn't have health, but I still think there were a lot of deficiencies on this roster aside from health issues. The running back room.
Right.
I don't know that we're better in the running back room. I'd like to hope that we are. I watched Jaden Blue play at Texas.
Right.
Is he going to be a good? I have no idea what he's going to do in the NFL. But I do know they shouldn't be relying on him for a huge number of carries.
They shouldn't be. He should be I would love to see him out there as a change of pace back if give my druthers because of his speed and what he can do out in the passing lanes.
Right.
I would love to see that out of Blue, but using him more as your main back, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But it is better than what we had.
I mean, is it?
I think it is.
I mean, they signed Javonte Williams. I'm not
sold on Javonte.
Not sold on Javonte Williams. Miles, I think, to me, Miles Sanders was used to be really good. Does he have anything left? Well, probably not, because they didn't even want him in Carolina anymore.
Correct.
Then you got Jaden Blue. You still got Deuce Vaughn.
They're not going to do anything with Deuce Vaughn.
You're not.
I want them to do something with Deuce Vaughn.
They won't. They won't.
But they're not.
Is your wide receiver room better than last year?
The way that the ineptitude to getting Cooks the ball.
Yeah. That was head scratching.
That was very head scratching. So whether it was he fell off or you just couldn't design plays for him or whatever it was, offensively, I would love to see them use more Turpin. If you're going to have
passing game, yeah.
And if you're going to need that deep threat, then send his ass out there. He can get deep. He's shown it to you in game footage that he can get deep.
Right.
So just use that more to clear the safeties out. And if they don't go back there, throw it to it. It's pretty simple.
And I'm not sold on George Pickens. I've explained my thoughts and feelings about George Pickens after covering him the last 2 years in Pittsburgh.
I agree with everything that you say about Pickens.
But we're hearing things, and you should hear this, and I don't know why you would hear otherwise. He's got a new attitude. It's a new location. It's a new area. It's a new team, new friends, new teammates, new uniform, new colors, new stadium, new workout room. It's a new era for George Pickens. And you know what? I hope to God that is correct. And
I've never seen the new era thing work.
But I haven't either. I've never seen that work. When you got a troubled guy,
right?
He's a troubled guy.
He might act like the re-engaged girlfriend, right? Where you stepped away because there was problems, and then you go back and they try and do everything, but then they just fall back into what they are and what they do, and that's what they are and what. There's no problem with it. It just didn't, just doesn't match, right? Yeah. Well, it's the same here. I would imagine he would fall back into that.
And again, if George Pickens plays like I think he can with his talent, because I think he's tremendously talented,
right?
Then I think we have something here. But you're still really only too deep at wide receiver, because I have zero faith in Jalen Tolbert. Other than Kevontae Turpin, but again, he's more of your kick returner, is kind of what
I say
you don't want him to be, right? But
I say use him more.
I do too. I just don't know that they will. Jonathan Mingo is a big bag of nothing. We gave up a 4th round pick for him.
Used to be the drummer for the Beatles.
He's Jonathan Mingo's star.
Mm-hmm.
Paris Campbell, Trayshawn Holden, Josh Kelly, and Jalen Marino Cropper. Woo! That wide receiver room will not strike fear into defenses anywhere.
No.
At tight end, I've said multiple times the last couple of years, Jake Ferguson might be my favorite Cowboy.
Right. I
just don't know if after injuries he's got anything left. And they did not go out and address that this offseason.
They did not. The other tight ends in that room aren't bad, guys.
Luke Schoonmaker?
Not bad.
Brevin Spann-Ford,
Hey, man, when you got 3 names.
and John Stevens Jr.
3 names. Look at that. They're gonna go out there and try and assassinate somebody.
I have never been a believer in Luke Schoonmaker. I didn't like the pick. I've never liked anything he's done on the field. The other 2 guys will never see playing time.
No,
and
it's
now
going to be Schoon and Ferguson.
And now we look at Dalton Schultz down in Houston making Pro Bowls, and you gave up Dalton Schultz for Jake Ferguson.
You did.
And you know what? I didn't disagree with that at the time.
I still don't.
I'd love to have Dalton Schultz in this offense.
Well, of course, I love Schultz, but if you're talking about where your money's going, and you realize that you have another person that you feel is just as good as Schultz and Jason Ferguson, then that's the proper move to make. That it just is. I didn't want to see Schultz go, but if you can't pay everybody and you've got Ferguson on his way to becoming that blanket for Dak Prescott, and you're like, okay, let's go ahead and let Schultz go now instead of paying him money again.
Right.
And that's what happened.
I think you should have stuck him out one more contract, even for on a 2-year deal, just to make sure what you had in Ferguson. And had you done that, he would not have been on the field when he got hurt 2 years ago.
Right.
He wouldn't suffer that injury, but he might have suffered a different one. You never know. It's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I like our tight end room better 3 years ago than I like it now.
But as far as having, you may say only 1, I kind of say 2 respectable tight ends in there. I'm not saying Pro Bowl. I'm not saying anything like that. But you're carrying 2 respectable tight ends. And for this offense to what I think is going to be responsible for is to not do the put us up 40 points like we used to expect out of the Dallas Cowboys. But hey, go put us up 27. Go put us up 24. And if you can do that, I think this team now with a different defensive mindset that I really like what's going on defensively, you've got the stars. Now, if you can just reinvigorate them into believing what's going on, I think you can get a good defense out of this crew. And this is a thing that tendency to happen in pretty much all NFL teams. Your defense will be ranked really high. And like the next season, you'll be ranked really low. And then it keeps going like that. That's this last year's top defensive team may not be this year's top defensive team because it just fluctuates and it's all on how many points you allow. And it's a little bit of luck involved and everything else. I think that kind of wore on this team. And plus switching out defensive coordinators from rah to I've got a steel eye, just didn't quite sit well.
No, and before I get to defense, we didn't talk about the offensive line.
Okay.
I don't hate the offensive line. I think we need maybe one more guy named Tyler.
Right.
To make it all fluid here. But you got Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, and Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele's washed. He's out. We got nobody to play right tackle. Cooper Beebe needs to have a good season, and he might. Tyler Smith, the best player on the offensive line, and it almost pains me to say that, but he's okay. Everybody, I think I'm not as high on him as a lot of people are. I still need to see some progression from him. And then Tyler Guyton, I don't think we have any clue what we have in Tyler Guyton because he was so bad last year.
Again,
neither one of your tackles is worth a darn.
I don't know if I can go quite that far. I mean, yes, did I not like a lot of things that I saw on film from Guyton? Yeah, but I think a lot of that was growing pains and him just not knowing or feeling or knowing what to do in a certain situation and doing it are two different things. Right. And being at the speed of the NFL, it changes it up. So I think we're going to see a better Guyton. I think we're going to see a better Smith. I know we're going to see a better Cooper Beebe. Those I have. You're going to need to replace Terrence Steele, but I think that's your weak link on the offensive line.
All right. And I have issues on defense. I know we added Dante Fowler Jr. back, which I think is a great move. Still don't believe in Mozzie Smith. I love Osa. Parsons is Parsons. I think the linebacker core needs some help, especially if Sam Williams is going to continue to be hurt. Marshawn Nealand, Damone Clark. You got a lot of guys with some really bad injury histories here. And they have Jack Sanborn written in here as your middle linebacker, starting middle linebacker. And then, of course, we have Overshone. Hopefully he'll come back.
Right. Need that.
Morris Leofau, just a lot of injury questions in the linebacker core. If everybody's healthy, I think it's okay. I like it better than I like our corner situation, where I think Trayvon Diggs is done.
Woo.
I think he's done. He's cooked. He's washed. Look for Trayvon Diggs to be your right corner starting the season. But I don't think he lasts there unless he has a complete resurgence after the injury. I don't see him lasting. And I think they may try to move him.
I mean, that could be the case. It is also something on resurgence of confidence, time healing wounds. I mean, that's confidence is what he didn't have going out there last season.
Right.
He just didn't. The reckless abandon that he played, his first couple of years with, where he's just, I'm going to go get this football. His confidence was through the roof.
Yep.
And I think it took a shot on, because one of the things you want to be confident on with is your leg's going to be there when you go to step on it, right? Or you step with it. And that's going to take some time. I think him coming back off of that is just more responsible of a sports psychologist than anybody else in that organization. And I think that's a possibility that you could be right. And there's a possibility that, no, he's going to come back and be, stronger than ever.
Well, and I hope he is. I mean, I like Diggs. I think some of that confidence, a lot of that confidence or lack thereof, is because of the injury, right? Like he just doesn't have the physical ability to play catch up and debate like he did before, right? I just think with the injury, he can't play 5-6 yards off a guy to bait a throw from the quarterback and then have the makeup speed to get to the ball to bat it away or make an interception. He probably is not going to have that physical ability anymore. And unfortunately, I don't know that he's able to play any other way, because that's all he's ever known. And, he started out as a wide receiver.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons Saban moved him to corner, is because he had that closing speed. But if he doesn't have the closing speed anymore, is he that great of a corner? I'm not saying he's not. I just don't know. To me, it's a big question mark. And then Colby, maybe the biggest question mark on the entire roster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we get through the season with this. Trent Sieg at long snapper. What are we going to do? Jesus Christ. What are you doing, Jerry Jones?
I mean, remember when we used to really care about the long snapper?
Did,
and it was a big deal. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah. Long snapper. Our teams were so good that the long snapper was where our focus was at.
Sometimes we were worried about the long snapper.
Right. But then there was one year that all our fears were realized when we had a long snapper that couldn't long snap. And we were beside ourselves as Cowboys fans. Oh, and you're not supposed to know the long snapper's name. No, you're not. We knew the long snapper's name. We knew the backup long snapper's name. Bunch of whippersnappers.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, so.
Dude, those were the days. And so, but look, bottom line, roster breakdown like we just did. I don't think right now the Cowboys are any better off than they were last year at this point or going into the season. The biggest question mark I have to that, I don't think it has to do with the player. I think it has to do with the new coaching staff. And can they make this roster as it is better than what we saw out of what we had last year? To me, that's the biggest room for improvement. That's the biggest possibility that this thing's better, is through the coaching staff. And
I'm going to be honest, I don't think how they can not, because they were at the bottom of the barrel last year. If you don't get better from what you were last year with this roster, and how we're talking about it with these players that are on this roster, if you don't have improvement, then immediately, if there's not improvement, it's time to go find another head coach, because this ain't it. Because there's just got to be improvement. It's got to be better. Because if it's the same or worse, then you didn't pick the right guy. I mean, this would be a 1-year shot for me if it starts to go bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how long is the leash for for Brian Schottenheimer. I don't know.
I mean, if you start off 0-4, then I might be down there.
Well, you know what I think we see first is a coordinator change on either side of the ball.
Right.
I think they'll go with that before they oust Brian Schottenheimer. But I don't know. Colby, you want to do a break or you want to get into some NHL finals really quick?
We can do a break because we need to get into a little bit of good, bad, and ugly. Yeah.
I mean, sure. Our run sheet's a mess right now, so we can literally do anything we want at any point. So
coming up next, we got the good, the bad, and the ugly, and a mystery shotgun, followed by probably some news and notes. We're just going to scatter barrel at you until we stop talking and end this show. That's all coming up on the Colby, Sapp, and IndyCarTim show.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything. Turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
today's show is brought to you by Tomstown, a premier craft distillery based in Kansas City, Missouri. Discover their award-winning lineup, including double oaked bourbon, botanical gin, and double grain vodka. Named the best craft vodka by the readers of USA Today. Available for online delivery in 40 states. Visit toms-town.com or their Kansas City distillery to explore more. Elevate your game with Tomstown, where history meets innovation. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hello, folks. Let's talk a little bit about turf life. And what is turf life? It's pretty much if your life involves turf in any way, shape, or form, you live the turf life. Go ahead and brand yourself with the turf life. Maybe a back window decal, maybe a hat. You know where you can get those kinds of things? To showcase that your life revolves around sports and or anything that involves sports. If it's a sports business or sports education or just your enjoyment of the outdoors, head over to turflifeclub.com. Become a turf head. Join the club today. You can do that by going to that said website that I just told you to go to. You can snag your window decal like I was talking about, or any of your other turf life accessories. Show everybody that you live the turf life, and we'll see you there over there at that turflifeclub.com.
Orion Golf Management Solutions. Orion Management Solutions has tailored its service packages just like it tailors its approach to customers. Some owners need more supervision, while others need periodic assessment of their short-term and long-term strategies and programs. Orion can be called in to develop a business plan with the existing staff, or we can assist with the daily management of a facility or event. Either way, we make sure the client is satisfied and understands the direction the facility needs to go in order to achieve the owner's goals. Orion Management Solutions can help with owner assistance service solutions, daily course management, business plan development, monthly operations, or as-needed consulting services. Whatever your need, Orion Golf Management Solutions can help. Check out oriongolf.com.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the Colby, Sapp, and IndyCarTim show. It's hard to talk without a microphone on.
It is. Probably have to turn that volume up.
All the way up. Do you need more? Do you need more?
No, I'm good. I just noticed.
I will give you more, Colby. Welcome back to the Colby, Sapp, and IndyCarTim show. It is a wacky Wednesday as we shift around the run sheet and sort of fly by the seat of our pants. Thankfully, my pants are on right now.
Thank God.
Thankfully for Colby. Because that was an option for me earlier, by the way.
Pants off?
To not have them on. I was seriously considering it. But then I was gonna have to take my shoes off, and there's a lot of work, and I have to bend over, and I don't really bend over very well.
You don't have to bend over with your pants off. Wait, you're saying you have to bend over to take your pants off?
Take my shoes off.
Okay.
Which isn't even really true because they slip on and off.
Right. I usually big toe it.
Do you?
My shoes.
I can't
big toe.
I can't do that.
Shoes come off.
I'm not good at toes stuff. I don't like toes.
Actually, I could do big toe with my boots too.
By the way, Colby, I meant to tell you, I was very proud of myself on the JP Peterson show this morning because JP made reference to. So it was funny. He rearranged the studio there in Tampa, and he has like a fan blowing on him because we never had a lot of airflow in that studio.
Right.
So we had a wide studio shot because we had just kind of fixed cameras and stuff for that. And he was pointing out on the air his fan. He goes, "This is my only fan." And it was a joke. And I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty funny, you know?" And he goes, why don't we have OnlyFans? And I'm like, well, I have an OnlyFans. You know, I get chicks that want to watch me blow dry my beard all the time, you know? So there's some freaks out there. And then, so he brought up the girl who makes millions of dollars on OnlyFans by farting into jars and selling them.
Okay.
And I said, "Oh, JP, do you know what we have audio of?" He's like, "What's that?" I said, "We have audio of a chick farting in a jar." And I went, and he died. He's like, "What is that really?" I said, "It's a chick farting in a pot, but it sounds like a jar." Mm-hmm. And he goes, and I played it over. He's like, "No, what is that really?" He goes, "That's just a fart." And I said, "No, a regular fart sounds like this." See the difference? There's a little echo. And dude, he's like, I know. He's like, "I'm speechless. I don't even know what to think. What the hell do we have that on the board for?" And I said, "For moments like this." That's
right. Or just the fact that one News and Notes story had a story about a lady that was on roller skates too
in the garage.
And she just skating at you, looking cute, and then picks up a big soup pot and just, as her butt swings across the camera, just lets it go.
Dude, we laughed. I had to pull the audio because might have pulled some other things too. Watching that video, you were out. You're like, "No, I don't care how hot the chick is. I'm out." And I was like, I might be more attracted than ever before.
No. As soon as you gas blasted a stainless steel soup pot while on rollerblades, I'm out.
Dude, you know what we should do? Okay, so we'll take the chick that farts in the jar and sends them to people.
Uh-huh.
We'll take it a step further. We'll get a hot chick to fart in a stock pot, and then we'll cook soup in it and send it to people.
Call it. What are we going to call it? We call
it stink pot soup.
We're going to call it butt broth.
Go get your butt broth and stink pot soup on our OnlyFans.
Butt drop soup.
Anyway, that was my excitement this morning on the JP Peterson show as we broadcast in Tampa every weekday from 10 to noon Eastern. So there you go, Colby.
There it is.
Enough jibber jabber.
Is it time for the little good, bad, and ugly?
As it's time for some of this.
This is that music that means that this segment is the good, the bad, and the ugly. That segment where I go through all the people that were born today, and I pick out the people that are famous enough to make my list, and then I make that list and offer it up to you guys, along with me and Tim, separately deciding who is the good person, who is the bad person, and who is the ugly person. I did want to give some shout-outs here, a little bit more of a somber moment, as we did lose a fan of the show.
Oh,
we did. Homero Jimenez.
Oh, no.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Big metalhead. Big fan of the fan. And just a really good dude. I saw that his it was his daughter or his granddaughter were posting for him on Facebook as he passed away. And I just recently saw, a Father's Day post from him and
Yikes.
All of that. And so rest in peace, man.
Yes, condolences to the family and friends.
Rest in peace. There's been so many cool conversations on Facebook that I've had with him.
Yeah.
And just talking about, he's into a lot of stuff that I was into.
Right.
And so him passing was it's kind of a shocker. kind of a shocker.
What would be, like, in all seriousness, but in funniness too, for people, what would be a suitable Colby, Sapp, and IndyCarTim show, like, tribute for a listener, friend of the show family that's passed? Like, how could we pay homage to people with a funny drop, or with just, I'm thinking something comical to alleviate some of the, but suitable for the show too. Maybe we need to think about that.
We do. I've been thinking about, I don't know how that would work, but we do have the Ted Nichols Payne studio in there.
We do.
And maybe just putting something up, their name on the wall or something along that line.
Absolutely.
Just let it, they were a part of this at one point, and they will be missed along that lines. But I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
So yeah, I saw that and was like, man, because dude could, he could throw down some, just rock and roll, talk to you about it, really knew his stuff. And so, yeah.
Awesome.
So there you go. But let's get to the list. As we start off with 1988 passed away.
The whole year?
The whole year passed away.
I thought they passed away in 1989.
No, 1988. Okay. This gentleman passed away, one Bruiser Brody.
Is that a wrestler?
That is a wrestler. I thought that'd be a wrestler that maybe Tim would be like, I remember Bruiser.
I do. I remember the name. That's, as soon as you said it, but I don't remember anything about Bruiser Brody.
Bruiser Brody was your good ring worker.
Okay.
That would come in, and it would be like, at the time, you would have an up-and-coming star that would come in, and he would wrestle Bruiser Brody, right?
Okay, I've seen pictures of him now. I remember him.
So, and that's Bruiser Brody was that guy that would basically elevate people, and they would be able to run some story with Bruiser Brody, because back in the 80s, the storylines weren't too in depth.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't like that guy and he doesn't like me type of situation.
Or if there was a storyline, it usually involved a chick.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, but Bruiser Brody.
What was his cause of death? Was it wrestling related?
Well, he passed away in 1988. I don't remember. But it is his birthday today.
Crazy. All right.
So, passed away in 2020. Be one Lou Brock.
Colby, Hall of Fame.
Yes, the Hall of Famer Lou Brock. There's a few people that reach that Hall of Fame status in today's.
He was a good, right?
Yeah, of course he was a good.
He's black.
Thanks, Norm. Appreciate that.
Huh.
So there, I thought you were going to spout out some Lou Brock stats for a little bit. I saw you looking him up.
I was, but it's all right. We're good.
Okay.
Everybody knows Lou Brock.
Turning 62 years old today. And one of the guys that was on the opposing team that, even though I was a Cowboys fan, I was kind of cheering for, as long as he wasn't playing for Bruce Smith.
Okay.
It was that Bills team that, because you beat them twice, you kind of felt sorry, right?
Yeah.
You're like, crap.
And I still feel sorry for that Bills team, because I liked all the guys on that team.
I did.
For
Thurman Thomas. I thought Thurman Thomas was great. Jim Kelly, Andre Reed.
Yes.
Daryl Talley.
Yeah, dude. Bruce Smith was the anchor of that defense, and he was so good.
Mm-hmm.
That team was so freaking amazing.
Just not
every single year to go to 4 straight. I don't care if you win them or not. The fact that you make it to 4 straight Super Bowls,
right?
But then you just don't get over. And think about it. The first year they went to the Super Bowl was the Giants, right? And that was the wide right Steve Christie.
Yes.
And so that would have been 91. Think about where the Cowboys were in 91. Watching the Bills and the Giants playing the Super Bowl, right? And it just took, 3 years, because then they lost to the Redskins the following year. Then you lose to Dallas, and then that was the 52-17. And then you lose, 30-13 or whatever the final was in the second one that you lost to them in. 4 straight NFC East teams beat you. And it's kind of why I cheer for Buffalo today a little bit, right? Like, kind of want to see them finally get over that hump. And that was one of the greatest 30 for 30s I've ever seen. I don't know if you've ever seen it. You hate documentaries.
No, I don't like documentaries.
You would enjoy. Have you ever seen any 30 for 30?
No.
This is one you would enjoy. If you like that Buffalo Bills team.
I'm good.
Just go watch it, Colby.
I'm not.
Just go watch it.
I'm going to spend time to watch that.
Father's Day.
If it's Father's Day and I'm getting my druthers on what's on TV, we might be going back to the 1984 Transformers cartoon, the movie. So,
oh my God. So, like, you don't even watch old Cowboys highlights and stuff to get your sports chompers going.
No.
God, I don't get it.
I already watched that game.
And you haven't watched anything about Texas Rangers winning the 2023 World Series?
No, I was there.
Okay, but it was 2 years ago. It didn't make you feel so good that you want to relive it?
I mean, I'll watch this every once in a while. You'll catch a YouTube short or something.
So you're in for a short about something,
right?
Like if you see a short or a TikTok of
I won't like
Emmitt Smith on a 40-yard touchdown in 1993, you'll watch that,
yes,
and you'll go, yeah. But you don't want to watch
the whole thing, no.
A 30-minute documentary on how great the 94 Cowboys were.
No, because all it is that same video that I just got through watching that's only spent 15 seconds of my life, and then it'll pan to somebody that I either know or don't know talking about that moment and what it meant to them.
I don't get it.
For like 20 minutes. It's one camera view at this one guy going,
great.
And then I was there and things happened. And, he was a really good guy.
You're minimizing
and then he did stuff.
The documentary, sir. You're minimizing all of it.
Documentaries are The Office without the funny. That's what they are.
The Office isn't funny.
No, they're The Office without the funny.
The Office The Office is The Office without the funny. At least documentaries have educational purposes and entertainment value to me. If all I ever watched were documentaries, I would be a happy camper.
No, because all it is that little bit of action, that little bit of film that already existed, that I already watched or have seen and seen it replayed so many times. It's that little bit of film, and then they cut to 2 old guys debating about what happened at that point.
Oh, I hate you so much.
And I don't have time for it.
You wouldn't even watch a documentary about like your grandfather if he did something great, because I can see, hey, Colby, they made this show about your grandpa Tillman, and you'd be like, I don't care. I got video games to play.
Well, if it's that well known, I'd probably already known about it.
Oh, maybe they just found out he was your grandfather.
I mean, I knew who he was.
Maybe you thought you did.
No, I'm pretty sure.
But you don't know, and you won't find out because you don't care.
I think somebody would notify me.
Guys. Colby drives me crazy, guys.
Somebody would notify me if there was a documentary about my grandfather.
You'd like to think so. But maybe they just assume that you don't care.
Oh, Papa Sapp.
Papa Tillman Sapp.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Drives me crazy.
Antonio Gates is 45.
Was he that great?
Yes, he was that great.
No, he was. Even though he played for the Chargers.
Yes.
Basketball stud, too.
Mm-hmm. The drummer for 21 Pilots, Josh Dunn, 37 years old.
There's your bad right there. What's his name? Josh Dunn?
Dumb.
D-U-M-B.
No, it's Dunn.
Writing Dumb, because that has got to be one of the worst musical outfits I have ever heard of in my entire life. Nothing makes sense. There's no beat. There's no rhythm. The lyrics don't make sense. The words don't match the supposed beats that you're expecting in the next measure of the song. And it's just, and then the drum does this, and then there's other guy over here doing something musically, and it's like they're all playing 3 different songs. And it makes my brain hurt, and it's not music, and it's disgusting. And if you like 21 Pilots, you're a fucking axe murderer. Go to hell. That's how I feel about that.
The song they did for Suicide Squad was really good.
I have no idea what that is. I know what Suicide Squad is. I'm talking about the song.
Okay.
And if I heard it during the movie, I probably hated it.
No, it was pretty good. A lot of their songs were just offbeat enough that they were back on beat.
Gross.
I'm
out.
That's what they were doing.
I had such high hopes because I heard such good things about them. And then I listened to a song once, and it was like, is this a 4-year-old trying to play music? Because that's what it sounds like, because nothing matches. And I was out.
Yeah. I mean, are they the greatest? No, but there's a few songs by them that I'm like, if it's on, I'm not going to immediately turn it off. And I'm a big metalhead, and that's not really in my range.
It's not even close to metal.
It's not, but I'm all right with it.
21 Pilots is so bad that they almost make Arcade Fire sound good, and that's really hard to do.
Well, you shouldn't set fires to arcades.
I believe you.
So, 34 years old today, Willa Holland. Probably wouldn't know her work. She was in the Green Arrow or Arrow TV series. One of those. Oh,
Willa. I put Willow. Oh, she's kind of cute though.
It's one of the hots that grows on you, right? Like at first, when you first see her, you're like, all right, well, she's cute, and then the hotness keeps like building.
I love the smoky eyeliner.
Right.
Like, dude, that's one of my weaknesses. I'm not into short hair, and there's a lot of pictures of her with short hair here. But, dude, it works with her.
Yes.
Oh, I've never heard of her. I might have to go watch. What's the name of this show?
Arrow.
It's just, what is that her?
Yes.
What character is that?
Well,
Is that Arrow?
Well, no, she would be playing one of the versions of Artemis in that point.
Wow. I've never heard of this before.
It's actually a good show. Like the first couple of seasons are really, I mean, it's CW quality superhero show.
Sure.
So there is a little bit of drawn out sappiness involved with it. But as far as like getting you interested in the story, it's not a bad, well, I mean, I think I watched 4 seasons of it. Maybe more.
I mean, like, look at that eyeshadow right there.
Right.
Dude, that's what does it for me right there. That look. I love you, Tim.
Nope.
I love you, Tim. She's 34. I can talk to her like that. And she can talk to me like that. We're both grown adults, Colby. Tell me no. I love you, Tim. Colby, I haven't even been drinking today.
I hate when I just put acronyms down because then I don't know what the acronym was for.
Oh, no. You self-acronymed yourself.
Yes, 34 as well. Monica Barbaro. And now I've got to look up Monica Barbaro. And why did... There we go.
Monica Barbaro. As like Hanna-Barbero?
She was in... What was she in?
Oh, Monica Barbaro.
Yes.
Oh, God, she's a hot too. Holy mother of God. It's going to be a tough one.
It was Top Gun. She was in the Top Gun Maverick movie.
She was the daughter.
So,
yeah, she was a hot. At least I think that's who she was. Yeah, she played Penny Benjamin. Oh, no. She was the pilot. I didn't recognize her out of uniform, Colby, but I'd love to see her out of uniform. Dude, she's really cute when she's not, her hair slicked all back. She looks like a chick. All right, I'm in. Damn it, this is going to be a tie. I might have a tie for good, Colby.
Alex Hirsch turns 40 years old today. He's the writer behind The Adventures of Flapjack.
Okay.
And Gravity Falls.
Okay. Don't care for either one of those, but I'll respect his work. I don't hate him. I could never get into Gravity Falls. The kids watched it religiously.
Because it was a series?
I just could never get into it.
Well, you had to like watch like episode after episode after episode.
Right.
You couldn't just pop in and be like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm right here.
Like a regular TV show. It followed a storyline. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hate it. It wasn't the ones. Look, it was no Backyardigans. I'm telling you that right now.
I mean, Adventures of Flapjack is highly underrated.
Yeah, I just never got into that either.
I mean, the whale. What you doing, Flapjack? That's hilarious.
Just don't get it.
Turning 49 years old today, one Blake Shelton.
God, now I have a tie for bads too.
And
I never got that either.
Turning 83 years old today, one Paul McCartney.
No John Lennon, Colby.
No, he's still alive.
All right. Do we have to put Paul McCartney in the all-time goods?
No.
He was a Beatle.
No, I don't respect the Beatles enough.
No, I mean, I don't either. Like, you know how I feel about the Beatles. I don't really give a crap. I love John Lennon. But all right.
No, we don't have to.
I'm not going to fight you over it. I was just a question I had to pose because he's a Beatle. All right, Colby. Man, this is gonna be a tough one. My bad. So I'm going bad first, Colby, for you.
Okay.
And it's very close. But I will show one of my bads a little more respect than the other because Josh Dumm is just, he might be an all-time epic bad for me because of his association with that travesty. Blake Shelton just flat out sucks. Like I like country music from that era, some of it. I've never gotten Blake Shelton. I just don't understand. I don't know how he landed Gwen Stefani, who I don't think is.
Oh, she's amazingly hot. Shut up.
I don't think is amazingly hot like Colby does, but I certainly think she's beautiful and she's pretty. I don't know that I would put the hot tag on her. I still don't know how he got her. But you know what? Blake Shelton, you fine. You're not nearly as bad as Josh Dumm.
I just sent you the 21 Pilots song that I think is good.
All right, I'll give it a listen. Maybe never. Colby, my ugly. I mean, I could go Blake Shelton, but he did used to have an Ulta mullet. His mullet from the 90s was pretty amazeballs. And I'm not going to disrespect Paul McCartney any more than I already do and call him an ugly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Colby? Bruce Smith was never an attractive man. Never thought he had handsome features.
Okay.
So, Bruce Smith, you're my ugly. And Colby, my good. Gulp. We have a tie.
Oh, wow.
We have a tie, Colby. And it's two girls that until 5 minutes ago, I couldn't tell you who they were. It's Willa Holland and Monica Barbaro.
Gotcha.
Are my dual goods. I've never done dual goods before.
Mm-mm.
I thought maybe you were going to veto it.
No, I'm not going to veto it.
Because if I had to, I could pick one over the other.
And it would probably be?
It would be Monica Barbaro because she was in Top Gun.
Gotcha.
But Willa Holland's really hot.
She is.
So there you go.
And the more you watch that show, the hotter she gets.
Oh, God, guess what I'm going to be watching at home tonight?
Arrow?
Yes. All 8 seasons, apparently.
Yes, sir. My good, starting off with the good, I'm going to go with, I almost went Willa. I'm going to go with Bruce Smith as my good.
Wow. Okay.
My bad, I'm going to go with Paul McCartney. It's my bad.
Completely acceptable.
And my ugly, got to go with Bruiser Brody.
I almost did that. He's been dead for almost 40 years. So
Right.
he probably looks a lot worse now.
And I apologize to Beatles fans. I know you're all going to be like upset at me. I am not.
No, I'm not upset with you either. Everybody knows where we stand on this show with the Beatles. The Beatles. Good day, mate.
I respect what they did.
Yeah, I respect the position and the place they have in rock and roll history. And I respect the path that they sent a lot of bands on.
Right.
But their catalog, meh. And again, if I like a Beatles song, it is most likely one that John Lennon wrote and sang. And then I kind of dug his solo stuff after they broke up. I dug him up. But so, yeah, you'll get no Beatles apologies on this show.
There you go.
So there's your good, bad, and your ugly.
Time to switch gears.
Are we going straight into it?
Going straight into it.
I think we have to, don't we? Because of time constraints. Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the program. If I can find it.
Oh, yeah. Welcome into Colby Sapp's Mystery Shotgun. I am your host, Colby Sapp, along with Pod Racer Tim. And it's time to get straight into it. I've got a few tidbits at the end of this, but there's one thing that I did want to get into and get off of my chest as I spent $69.99 on a video game that held a lot of promise.
Oh, no.
Held a lot of promise.
Yikes.
And there was signs in the preliminaries of this And I'm talking about MindEye, by the way.
Okay.
There was signs for this game that coming into it, there was going to be some problems. As about a month before release, they had a demo of the game sent out to YouTubers and such like that, basically a streamed demo of this game. They weren't allowed to play the game. They were allowed to watch somebody else play the game.
Oh.
So they weren't even hands-on. This is only a month before the game was to come out. They weren't able to be hands-on with the game.
Huh.
And they also put a embargo on them saying what happened during that actual webcast.
Oh.
For like a week or so. And then they came out and said, by the way, last week, this is what we experienced. And the experiences that they had said this thing was buggy as hell. Like really buggy. Like buggier than it should be a month out. But I held on to hope. And the reason why I held on to hope is because, again, if you hadn't heard me before, this game was made by Build a Rocket Boy.
Right.
Which was,
we've talked about this. Yeah.
Yes. Which was Leslie Benzies. Leslie Benzies is the guy behind, or one of the gentlemen behind Grand Theft Auto, like 3, 4, 5, Red Dead, Bully. He's had his hands in the pots of all of these. And so, and the idea behind the game was that he was going to create a game that basically would give power to the gamers to make more of the game and to make their own spot. And basically I know the Ready Player One space is kind of filled with Fortnite and Roblox and all that, but they were going to do a more adult oriented version of Ready Player One, where you weren't a blocky character or you wasn't a cartoon character. You were an actual, like, look like a Grand Theft Auto character.
Right.
And doing this, which really kind of piqued my interest on this style of game. I got it, paid for it, started playing it the moment that after I got through downloading, and went through, by the way, beat the game.
Oh, wow.
In 12 hours.
How much was this game?
$69.99.
And it took you 12 hours.
Yes.
That doesn't seem like a good value, Colby.
I knew that the story was going to be short, but here's other things that I ran into. So there was a lot of times to where the NPC characters that are in this world, they just reacted stupid. Like if there was gunfire happening, like all of a sudden gunfire is happening and like the person beside me would freak out and then his SUV would just flip over.
Okay.
It
right.
There was times where there was one instance to where it's like a set narrative piece where you got to go rescue this one person from this neighborhood. So you get there and the bad guys are there and you got to shoot the bad guys and you shoot the bad guys and then you go in and get the person and then more people show up. And so the person's like, I'll drive, you shoot. So your person's hanging outside the window shooting, right? And this part's okay. But once you're done with that part of the level, then it's up to the NPC to get you to the place that you're going.
Right.
The whole time she's talking about how that she's like not a bad person and whatever. She ran over 8 people. She was literally on the sidewalk.
It sounds like I would love this game.
Running over people and then wrecking into stuff. It took forever to get to our destination. Like she hit like a traffic pole and just kept hitting it. It's just like, I just let me drive.
Wow.
It was, there was a lot of like stuff just appearing out of nowhere. Like it would glitch in. Like I could understand if this was on an online server.
Sure.
Right. And maybe, internets are not matching up. There's so many people in the room
Yeah.
that you might have some glitch things happen there. Things happen in GTA all the time.
Right.
This is the one player narrative.
Wow.
That stuff is happening like this, and it's running really, really crappily. This was after, by the way, they issued a day one patch that was supposed to fix issues. I don't even know what the game played like before the day one patch, because I got it afterwards.
Maybe you should have downloaded the patch separately.
You know what? If I could have, just to see it, because I don't know what they fixed, but it wasn't a lot. Now, there's been other games that I'm going to give this the benefit of the doubt. There's been other games that, when released, were absolute dog shit.
Wasn't MindEye? That's the name of this game?
MindEye.
One word?
Yes. Cyberpunk 2077, when it first came out, ran like fresh butt butter. It was just not good whatsoever. Now it's one of the better games you can go take a look at and go play. It's very in depth. They've worked out all the bugs. I don't like the idea that it's okay for companies to release an unfinished game, and then let the updates fix their mess, while they go ahead and make their money back for their investors and whatnot. I don't like that idea.
Seems like
whatsoever.
a bad look, right?
Well, if this thing does what it's promised in the end of it and gives us the everywhere game, the do whatever you want game, because what they did is they left the tools in the game. Like, if you buy the PC version of MindEye, you now have the tools to make your own levels of this game. And you can make your own characters, do your own thing, just to share with everyone else. Here you go. And they're what they're wanting at the end of it is those tools to be out there for, just regular Joes, to maybe a AA company or something like that to come through and be like, hey, we'll make a game inside this game. That's the idea.
That's weird.
The idea behind basically publicly shopping your own hardware for somebody else to make your stuff is kind of weird, but it could catch fire, because this is something that's worked on like other games, like Fortnite. You can go play any game you want basically, and it just be the Fortnite version of that game.
Really?
Same with like Roblox and stuff. Like murder mysteries are inside Fortnite. Capture the flag, Call of Duty styles inside Fortnite. There's all kinds of games that are inside Fortnite. Guitar Hero is inside Fortnite. So
yeah, Eli plays that inside. I'm like, why are you playing Guitar Hero in Fortnite? Why don't you just play Fortnite? It's just one of the games they have inside of it. I'm like, I don't get it.
No, see, what it is your same character.
Right.
Your same character, your same everything. So you're constantly building your same character and unlocking stuff for that one character. And it's smart. It's very smart, because if you feel like doing something else, that's what makes Grand Theft Auto so cool, is if you felt like doing something else, like, I think I'm going to go play some golf.
Right.
I'll go play some golf inside Grand Theft Auto.
Tennis, all of it.
I want to go race.
Yeah.
I want to go gamble a little bit. By the way, GTA 6 rumored to have basketball.
Okay.
Inside the game, where you can
Seems about right. Yeah.
You and your boys can go play a pickup game of basketball
inside the game.
Inside the game
with other players too, right?
With other players, yeah. Maybe in a public lobby, you just go to an actual court and you start joining in street ball style.
Right.
So that would be amazing. So a bunch of stuff there. If I had to give MindEye a flower, it would be that the story is good enough that if I had walked in on episode 1 of this series, I would have stayed. The story's good. It's got a few plot potholes in it, but I'm that guy that can look past plot potholes as long as you keep me interested and focused on what you need me to be focused on.
Right.
So the story's pretty good. It feels like that's all they focused on was the story and not graphics or anything else.
Right.
Or they tried too hard with graphics and it's breaking my PlayStation. that could be the other side. So, but yeah.
Now, do you think it's is probably a stupid question. Do you think it's a game build issue or is it a hardware issue with the PS5?
I don't think it's a hardware issue because PC players were having a lot of the same issues. Yeah. What it was I can almost see this like coming from a mile away. Now that I'm looking back in time a little bit. So their main interest was making the Everywhere game, right? And not MindEye. MindEye was made inside the Everywhere game. Right. Their main interest was making this Everywhere game. And it probably got to the point to where they realized they needed more crowdsourced funding or just more investors. And the investors that they had were saying, we need some kind of return. And so they quickly put together MindEye to get the return.
Right.
And
terrible business model. And
maybe things were failing or things were falling apart or what have you, or they just weren't, moving fast enough. Right. Maybe they teamed up with some of the guys at iOS, actually teamed up with iOS, the guys that are over the Hitman games. Mm-hmm. And so.
You ever play those?
Yes.
Are they good?
Yes.
I see shorts of it before, sometimes on my TikTok machine. And it almost looks like I might want to dabble into that a little bit.
It is. It's you got to think outside the box a lot of times on ways to kill the person you're supposed to assassinate. You can't just go in and I'm just going to shoot everybody. No, it doesn't work like that.
Like you do in GTA?
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. So.
By the way, I downloaded GTA 3.
Did you?
Yeah, because it's on PlayStation Plus right now.
Oh.
I forgot how great GTA 3 was, man. And how, you know what? I was shocked. I didn't remember it being, and it's funny, I'm hearing people complain about, oh God, this is so primeval. The graphics are so bad and the gameplay is so bad. I was shocked at how smooth it was. Well, I didn't remember it being that smooth.
It's going to run smooth on your PlayStation 5, sir.
For sure.
So, a new update came out for GTA 5. Some new things to buy, new cars to buy. We'll tell you real quick. My current feeling about the new update in the new shops, the car wash, the helicopter tours, and the weed dispensary. I think they thought GTA 6 was coming out and they just threw something together for a summer.
Throwing stuff. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, why are they still doing this if 6 is imminent, right?
Actually, I think this wasn't planned. If I really wanted to dive into it, I think that they were thinking this was going to be the last update for GTA 5 and they're going to do a send-off. They were going to do something huge.
Right.
Well, now they had, we got to do something huge. And if we do something huge here, we definitely got to do something huge in December for the winter update.
Right.
They're like, oh, crap.
It's stuck now.
So they moved their something huge to the winter update.
Right. Gave us this.
Now, some of the cars that they gave us are really cool.
So where can I go to find all this?
All the cars?
Yeah.
There a lot of them are on the website.
Okay.
Some of them aren't out yet that other people have because they're only available right now on GTA Plus.
Right.
So, but on the website, they have a lot of the new cars that are there. You can catch them out there. The new Suzumi is really cool. It's an electric supercar. It's based off the Owl.
Okay.
And so it's really cool. There's a couple of cars that look like they should have drift capabilities and they don't, kind of weird. But the new pickup, I forgot, it's the Karen something.
Right.
Is really badass. They've added 50 more cars or 50 more cars that have missile lock-on jammers now. So if you're a guy that likes to hang out in public lobbies,
You have to have one of those.
you got to get you a missile lock-on jammer. So I did want to toot my own horn real quick before I got into news and notes. As told you, I would say maybe a year ago that Sacha Baron Cohen was going to be in Ironheart.
Okay. Not a fan of him.
He is in Ironheart, and he is playing Mephisto. Like I told you a year ago.
Yeah.
So
Colby had the scoop.
So there you go. That was the scoop there. And somebody that, are you a fan of Sabrina Carpenter?
From Buffy the Vampire Slayer? She was in? Or am I thinking of something? No, I'm thinking of Charisma Carpenter.
Yes. Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, is she a singer?
Yes.
Okay, then no. I don't know who she is.
Right now she is being eyed to play Dazzler in the MCU.
Okay.
So that's a mutant singer.
I think Carly Simon should play that character.
So,
But
So there you go.
But I'm so vain. Is that it?
there you go. There is your mystery shotgun.
Very good, Colby. Always keeping us surprised and surprised.
Yes,
of
sir.
Anything and everything in the MCU and video games, games. But we are not done with Colby Sapp,
We are not.
because Colby's going to finish the night strong here on a what do we call it? A hump day, which does not mean that we're all going to get laid.
No.
But Colby, I'm going to go try after we leave the show here tonight, and I will report back to you.
You don't have to.
I will keep you apprised of my layness situation.
Mm.
But first, we all have to keep up to date because it's time for this.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, me. Thank you, you, for making us sound good. News and Notes is where I search the world wide web for the weird.
Internets.
And by God, I found it. Let's go to California, where
Let's not.
people are weirdly nice. What?
It's not a thing.
Well, I mean, it is a thing. Hold on, as I try to get out of.
Oh, no.
No, it just killed my thing.
Oh, no. We're not going to California.
We are going to California
okay.
because I remember the story. I just don't have the guy's name now as it
crap.
deleted on me. It had an ad pop up and I couldn't move the ad. So there was a gentleman that had a little bit of mental issues.
In there.
And he was threatening to hurt himself.
Haven't
And
been there.
the cops showed up to try and de-escalate the situation. And when they showed up, and he had a knife on him, and instead of like trying to do harm to himself, he ended up charging the police officers.
Oh, Colby brought a knife to a gunfight.
It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. They opened fire, and it was some distance between the cops and the gentleman with the knife. So they just got him a couple of times. Didn't kill him, but they asked him, hey, please crawl to us now that you're down. Throw out your knife and please crawl to us. Make sure nobody else is in there, blah, blah, blah. And so as he's crawling to them, he's like, you shot me in the leg. You shot me in the leg. It's a good shot, though. It's a really good shot. It complimented their shooting.
At least he's nice. That sounds like something that would happen in Edmonton.
Right. So, complimented their shooting. That's insane.
Okay, nice shot. Ow! Hey, nice shot. Ow!
Let's go from there to Iran.
It's not.
As a international biking dream cut short as Minnesota man flees Iran. Ian Anderson was pedaling across Iran as part of a mission to cycle across all 7 continents when Israel launched a massive attack on suspected nuclear sites.
Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull?
Yes. The 32-year-old. No, I don't think.
It's not 32.
The 32-year-old from Minnetonka, Minnesota, said he did not expect to get caught up in what looked like a real war zone. You went to Iran.
What did you expect?
You went to Iran to bicycle.
Let's go somewhere peaceful. How about Iran this time of year? I hear it's nice.
Your goal is to cycle across 7 continents. You know what? You could have picked a smaller part of that continent and just went across it. Right?
Or maybe we just don't try to bicycle across a freaking continent. Sounds like a stupid idea, Colby.
I mean,
did he get shot in the leg?
He did not get shot
Or
in the
did
leg.
a bear steal his bicycle?
Yes. And it was
it always goes back to the bear.
Unbearable.
Oh, for the love of God.
Get back to this here as let's go to Pierce County, Washington, as a man was taken to the hospital for mental health treatment after Pierce County deputies says he threatened his parents with a chainsaw. Deputies were called to a home on Saturday when neighbors reported seeing a man chase his father in the yard with a chainsaw. They later learned that the man got into an argument with his parents and threatened both of them with the tool. Guessing they're still talking about the chainsaw.
Maybe.
When deputies arrived, they tried to de-escalate the situation. The man jumped into a pond with his chainsaw, and negotiations to get him out went on for 40 minutes. Deputies were able to get him out with a beanbag gun and a lasso.
Colby, they lassoed the guy with the chainsaw. This would have been better if it was in Texas.
The 32-year-old was taken to the hospital for mental health services, and the family received resources. Unclear if any charges will be filed. They got him out of the pond. The man in the pond with the chainsaw. They got him out of the pond with a beanbag gun and a lasso. Was the beanbag gun to threaten him to stop bobbing around so they could get him with the lasso?
Colby, there's video of this. I don't think we can put it on here, though.
Probably some kind of copyright, something or another.
I just don't know how to do it. Look, he's got the rope. He's got the rope. There he goes. Look, he's pulling him in. Oh, my God, dude.
That's amazing.
I'm going to repost this on the social media, Colby.
See, we'll be looking for this on the social medias that you're obviously still following. At Colby Sapp, at IndyCarTim.
Yes, doing it right now.
So, at the Colby Tim Show. Let's go to Florida, where it's illegal in Florida to feed, harass, buy, sell, possess, transport, or import American alligators or their eggs without a permit. Says nothing about petting them. Tampa resident Jasmine Herron was walking her dog on June 12th when she caught sight of and video of a woman in her complex casually stroking an alligator, not an euphemism.
Careful.
The gator had been living in the complex retention pond for a few months, she said. Fortunately, the woman was not bitten, although in the short video, the reptile opens its mouth at her a few times. The gator's scratches are a little over a month after the woman canoeing. Oh, never mind. Sorry, it's a whole different story. So... So a Tampa woman is like, oh, hey, Mr. Gator, and just starts stroking its noggin.
Huh.
With her dog. You think the dog would be like, hey, lady, we need to get the fuck out of here. Sorry, Gerb.
He's asleep.
He gone.
He's passed out.
So let's go from there to the antidote to the Jaws effect, as I found some photos of trying to show the softer side of a great white shark.
Oh, no.
Mike Coots, his name is Coots, a keen surfer in the waters of his native Hawaii, was 18 when he was bitten by a tiger shark. It came from right underneath me and latched on, the photographer said. He's now 44. It felt a huge pressure, but no pain. It was like an out-of-body experience. The shark shook him back and forth like a rag doll, Coots says, until he managed to punch it 3 times in the nose, cutting his hand against the teeth as it did so. It wasn't until I was paddling back to shore that I realized that my leg had been completely severed and there was big spurts of blood coming out of the stump with each heartbeat. Remarkably, Coots was back in the water with a new prosthetic leg just a month later. Stupid. Now he's become an advocate to sharks.
Oh my God. How do you become an advocate for sharks?
He's wanting to call it the antidote to the Jaws effect and show the softer side of sharks with him swimming alongside great whites and stuff.
That's not going to end well. You know what? I predict another news and note story here in the not too distant future. Man eaten by shark while advocating for shark.
Yes. So bit him right in the coots.
Right in the Chris Coots.
So there you go. There, Mr. Coots. You dummy.
Oh, dear.
Dummy. And that's news and notes, everybody.
Oh, dear, Colby. We always got to mix in the bear riding the bicycle that stole the bicycle from a story years ago. It always comes back to the bear on the bicycle, as most news and note stories do. I'm IndyCarTim. That is Colby Sapp. We will be back next Wednesday with another Colby Sapp and IndyCarTim show with lots of debauchery, probably some sports talk that you don't understand because we're so intelligent and we know so much more than you guys. We'll try to dumb it down for you, though.
I'll just stay stupid.
Especially with Cowboys talk. We are going to follow the Caitlin Clark WNBA story more than you want us to, because now we're fully committed now.
Yes.
I'm going to stay on it. And we're going to talk about that every week and talk about Caitlin Clark every week and look for bikini pictures of Caitlin Clark every week. Well, I'll do that. Colby won't, but I'll make them look at them.
Okay.
But until next time, boys and girls, we'll see ya.